In this video, you're going to learn how to use Adobe Illustrator to open a PDF, convert the images in that PDF to vector files using image trace. You're going to learn how to rotate images and deselect things or delete things using the direct select tool. Let's get started. We have Adobe Illustrator open, and so I'm going to use Adobe Illustrator to locate a file that I have on my computer. And this file is called AM Project 1 Logos. I'm going to go ahead and open this. And a dialog box opens up, and I can see that this PDF is 41 pages long. So I'm going to flip through each page and find the logo that I'm looking for, and you are going to find the logo that you did for your group. And I will stop here. So I'm just going to print in that this is a logo that I worked on. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK to open it. And I see that this image opens up into Adobe Illustrator. Now if I hit Control Y, I can convert this to outlines, and I can see that this B and this little image down here are not showing up when I convert to outlines. So Control Y to bring this back. All that means is that this image is made up, it's a raster-based image, it's made up of pixels. If I zoom in, we can see some of those pixels. Now we started with an illustration, and that illustration was then scanned, and that's currently what we're looking at. The darker the lines that you have, the better your image is going to translate when we image trace it. We're going to pretend that this file is ready to go, so we're going to select it using the black arrow, the selection tool, or the white arrow, the direct select tool. We're going to go to Window, Image Trace, and when I open up my image trace panel, you can see that there are no options in there. That's because I have to do something to this image first before I can image trace it. With this image selected, I'm going to go to Object, Rasterize. So with that image selected, I go to Object, Rasterize. I'm going to choose background as white. My resolution I want to be nice and high, so I'm going to choose 300. CMYK color mode is perfect. I'm going to hit OK. Illustrator is rasterizing this artwork, and if I zoom in, I'm going to notice that it looks about the same as it did before. Not much has changed. However, if I have this image selected, I can see now that over here in my image trace panel, all of these options are available to me. Next, I'm going to choose Preview. And then I'm going to click on the advanced option, so I could click Ignore White. If I need to, I could adjust the threshold and any other options that I have in my options panel. And when I get the image looking the way I want it to look, I'm going to hit Expand. That will convert everything into paths or into vector images. There we go. Now if I select these with the black arrow, we're going to notice that everything gets selected because it's still grouped. So what I want to do is ungroup some of these things or separate them using the technique where I cut and paste things. So what I'm going to do is use my white arrow, and I'm going to click out here in the open space and drag so I can encompass this entire B image. I'm going to cut it by hitting Control X, and I'm going to hit it, paste it by hitting Control V to paste. If I click on the black arrow, I can see that I have a bounding box around this logo. So I'm going to click out here. When I see that arrow turn kind of curved, I'm going to click and drag down. And while I'm dragging, I'm going to hold Shift. That will ensure that I rotate this at a 90-degree angle. Now I can move this logo up into the open space. Next, I'm going to grab the white arrow or hit A on my keyboard. I'm going to select the second logo. I'm going to hit Control X, Control V to paste. I could use my black arrow now to rotate this image again. If I hover near this corner, I see that little curved arrow. I'm going to begin to rotate my image, and I hold Shift down to make sure that it rotates at a 90-degree angle. Finally, I could use my white arrow again to grab any other pieces that are out here like this text, and I could press Delete. Any other little pieces that are floating around, I could go ahead and grab those and press 1 and 2. So I have one more step I need to do. I'm going to use my black arrow to grab this entire B. I could also use the white arrow to do that. And I'm going to group this, Control G. I'm going to do the same thing with this logo. I'm going to encompass everything by clicking and selecting around it and hit Control G to group. Now if I use my black arrow to select this B logo and move it, it's all grouped together in one piece. And same thing with this logo here on the bottom, all in one piece. Perfect. Now there's two more things that I want to do to finish this. These are two different logos, so I'm going to save them that way. First, I'm going to create a new document, File, New. And on my new document, I'm going to want to choose a letter size document and make sure that I'm working with inches, 8.5 by 11, portrait, and hit Create. In my tabs up across the top, I'm going to take this B logo and cut it, Control X. I could move this logo up towards the center, just leave it right there. I'm going to click on the new document and hit Control V to paste. Now I have two different documents with two different logos in it. The last thing to do is to save these two logos. File, Save As, and I'm going to go into a folder that I have on my desktop called H Drive. I'm going to go into Graphics, Miscellaneous, and in here I'm going to create a folder and call it P1 Logos. You would want to go to your H Drive on your computer. I'm going to change the name of this one, and your two logos are a little bit different. One is an agency logo, and then one is a tagline logo. And so for this one, I'll just call it Agency Logo. And I'm going to hit Save. And hit OK. The next file is my tagline. I'm going to go File, Save As. Go into my Graphics folder, Miscellaneous, P1 Logos, and this one, I want to make sure to change it to Illustrator because right now it's a PDF type. So I want to change that type to Illustrator. I'm going to name this one Tagline _ logo, and I'm going to hit Save and OK. Now that I have those two logos saved, I'm in a position where I could share them with my team. I'm going to go ahead and close these two files, and now I'm done converting those two logos into vector files using image trace. I hope you enjoyed that process. It's similar to what we've done in the past, but now you've gotten to take your logo from sketches to the finished vector version, and then you've saved them and you're ready to present them to your team or to the class.